Hello and welcome. Grateful to see you. I'm going to ask that you leave your audio and video off for this transmission. It will help us go deeper within. That's the objective for this particular, actually it always is, but in this particular case, just bringing your energy and awareness into your calm of light as we invite the remembering of stillness in an even deeper way. So inviting you all to take a deep breath in. And in this recognition that the Council of Light is fully present, your higher selves are fully present, the masters and angels working with you are fully present, your future selves in fully enlightened states have been invoked to be here, to be present, your body Deva's higher selves, your spiritual families. When we come together in this way, there's a lot of groundwork, etheric weaving that happens behind the scenes in preparation for the session to create a really safe, supportive space for you to shift you to the degree that you choose. We provide an energetic opportunity that supports your remembering in a deeper way. And it's each unique to each of you, in that we invite you to bring this in your own unique way. As they say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And the reason this kind of energy is stepping forward to answer the calling, the remembering of stillness, is that stillness is a superpower. Stillness is an aspect of mastery. The presence required. It's actually layered. It's a layered orientation of you, identification of you in the stillness that already exists. Again, behind the scenes, if you will. We can practice and remember, activate how to connect to the stillness regardless of what's going on in the external world. And that stillness, frequency, resonance, then ripples. So first and foremost, it supports each of us in our own way as we do it for ourselves to connect to greater stillness, which then generates a more harmonic resonance in and around us. And that in turn positively, empathically impacts the group field, the collective, those that we interact with, those that we don't even consciously interact with, that are just in a vicinity of they don't even need to be in the vicinity, but it's both. The guides are saying it's both. It's physical proximity, and it's also, because it's etheric, it has an etheric effect on the inner planes, collective consciousness, group energy fields that are beyond the physical realm. So groups that you're connected to in various ways, whether it's family, or maybe it's a religious church group or organization, or even a soul group, you empathically impact any group that you're etherically connected to, regardless of what you're running in your energetic fields, what you have activated. So when we consciously choose to activate greater stillness within ourselves and more of that I am presence, remembering, alignment, we're going to invite you just to lean in to far beyond words, far beyond the mind, and invite your higher self to show you energetically the ripple effect. And as we graduate as light workers, way showers, bringers of light, into our next level of consciousness, based on where we are, we're being invited to graduate to a new level of being of service. which functions strictly from oneness. So we're going to show you what we mean by that energetically. And we're going to invite your higher selves to connect to those energetic templates that function from the new ways of being of service, in this case, by remembering stillness, how that's being of service. So we're going to invite that to be brought in far beyond the intellect. And first of all, it's service to you as a being, as part of oneness. You as a being are an aspect of the divine that is unique, that extends from source itself as a ray of light, as a beam of light. And as an aspect of the divine design is that you are in charge of this aspect of life that is you at the level of your higher self. So will you let your higher self hold that responsibility for you and retrieve it off of everyone and everything you may have given it to externally, holding the responsibility for your own alignment, for your own healing, for your own remembering at the level of your higher self. So you can just simply invite your higher self to do that for you, far beyond the intellect. And we're going to also invite the body, Deva, and the teams to do the same. Guides to retrieve all responsibility for you back to you. Anywhere we misplaced it on something outside of us, even a God outside of us, because God isn't outside of us. We're going to bring in that remembering as well. That you are an extension of source itself, creator itself. There is no separation. Bringing in that remembering. Also, bringing in the awareness that this session has been woven with a fabric of vibration, of safety, protection, support, allowing you to lean into that safe, supportive container to the degree that you choose, that's here for you, and inviting you at the level of your higher selves to connect to that safe, supportive container that's been crafted for you by your higher self in an appropriate dimension for you. Inviting the body devas to do the same. Team same. We each have our own energetic container. Yes, there's a group container, but each of us, because we're unique, has a unique energetic container, like a cocoon. Sacred chamber to shift, grow, and evolve, where it's really easy, where it's really safe, where it's really supportive, and we don't have to effort it into being. So we're just going to help remind you how to access that for you. And you might just be at a place where you just lean into that idea as a reality. And then let your higher self take over from there. It's a part of you. Your higher self is not a separate being with a separate agenda. It's you from a higher dimension, from a higher perspective. Just reminding you of that connection. Inviting an upgrade and repair of your connection grids, your communication grids with your higher self. Upgrading for the now, where you are now. Getting oriented in where you are now in your evolution. Inviting each of you in your own unique way to orient appropriately in the now moment to where you are in your evolution. And this is you at the level of your higher self doing it for you as you choose it for you. Inviting the body devas to do the same, team same, getting oriented. Oh, this is the step we're on. Each of us unique in divine perfection, divinely, perfectly unique. And as you get oriented for the position you are on the mountain, the staircase, we're going to invite some energetic aspect of you to bring all of your focus, all of your identity points, your reference points for you out of the past, out of the future, into the now. off of everyone and everything so that you're oriented in this you that is on this step in your evolution, this now moment, orienting in the now, getting centered in the now, breathing and using the breath to bring you into the now, present, fully present in who you are and who you've become. Step you're on, getting really clear, inviting that to be fine-tuned by you for you. Body and team same. And anything that's not allowing that for you, anywhere you have your creative energy, your life force streaming in the past or in the future, can we show you how to bring it back into the present moment, releasing your attachment, activating the vibrations of the lessons that maybe represents for you to not be present, and moving back into the now, meeting your needs in this moment internally and vertically. Can we show you how to do that for you? It might sound really foreign at first, but it's really how we were designed to function as beings that are one with an infinite source. Source is your river of light that is you, the beam of light that you are. And as you bring your energy back into your river, your focus, your energetic weight back into who you are, focused on you, not streaming externally. You can access all of you can access all of your resources, and you're aligned with that vertical beam that is source, that is you, that is the connection itself. It's all oneness. It's all there, but it's not outside of you. So when we try to lean outside, maybe even notice that you lean forward or you lean to one side or the other, you lean backwards. Recognize that that's an indicator that you're maybe looking for what you're after outside of you instead of at source level. So bringing all your reference points for your needs back to that inner column. Body, team, same. You can use the breath to help you do that. Orienting in the now, getting really current with who you are now. When we're attempting to be ahead of ourselves in the future or back in the past, trying to fix or change something, or even complete something, we leak our energy. We take ourselves out of that vertical orientation where we're one with source to an experience of ourselves in separation. And then we wonder why we don't have resources to access or why things aren't working out. We're not synced up. Things don't synchronize. The timing's off. In order for us to be in that timing, that flow, to access our resources that are current for us, it's about being present in the now. So again, we're going to remind you of that orientation, that vertical alignment. And you can simply invite your higher self to do it for you through your free will conscious choice. I'm choosing to be in my vertical alignment, centered in my beam, focused in my beam, in what I am. And will you release all identifications of you that you aligned with in the past that are no longer relevant, outdated, or simply not true? We're going to invite your higher self to do that for you if you choose it. Updating your identity as the river beam of light that you be, the extension of source that you truly be, the I am that I am of you. And will you remember that in a deeper way? In this aspect, this layer is really about remembering the connection that's innate. So we're going to help you and your body, David, do that in your own unique ways. Body Deva is of nature, Gaia, Earth. So it's going to lean more into remembering itself as an element of Earth or an aspect of Earth, Gaia, maybe a certain animal form, maybe an aspect or element of nature, maybe a tree, maybe a forest, maybe a mountain, maybe rock itself, Earth itself, maybe the wind, the water. So just allowing the body, David, to orient into its own nature way of remembering the connection. And you as a soul may use a dimension, coherent dimension, to orient, remember this oneness connection in the world you're from. An inner dimension of you that's really clean, really safe, really supportive, empowering, connected. So inviting you as a soul at the level of your higher self to connect to you in a coherent, safe, supportive dimension that's appropriate for this particular remembering, where you are already awakened and aware of being completely connected to source. You're living oneness and you're awake to it, fully awake, fully aware, fully embodied. And receive it there 20,000 times more than you'd ever need to. Again, allowing some energetic aspect of you that knows to do this work. And then reflect it to yourself here. The connection, the oneness, the I amness. And you might have just felt a shift, ever so subtle for some of you. Subtle is good. It's like when we're navigating a plane, a trajectory of an airplane. If we turn the course just a little bit, turn the yoke just a little bit to the left or the right, it adjusts our trajectory so that we reach our destination perfectly. Whereas if we're adjusted a little too far to the left or the right, we'll miss it. So this is that gentle, graceful nudge, adjustment that puts us in that alignment. So lovely to feel that ripple. Letting that integrate and letting the body deva continue to be in its kind of shape-shifting, earth dimensional play of remembering its connection to Gaia, earth, oneness, which is an aspect of source as well. And allowing that to ripple. Inviting the teams to do the same for you, the body deva, all the teams to do this in their own unique way, the guides to do this in their own unique way, so that there's this strong, coherent field of the remembering of connection and oneness. And you might already feel a little more calm. So letting that integrate, inviting a balancing and stabilizing of all your energetic fields, updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. So when I asked this beautiful collaboration of light beings that is helping facilitate this session from a higher dimension, kind of what the first step, right, is for us moving into the remembering of stillness. They said, be present, be in the now. And the interesting thing is that we sometimes overlook that and we try to go straight for kind of, inviting more stillness, inviting more peace, inviting more calm. And so just to bring to our conscious awareness that whenever we're intending or desiring to connect to and remember more stillness, again, stillness is a superpower. It has a harmonizing effect on everything. Harmony is good. It also synchronizes everything. It's like an energetic reboot for you and your body, Deva, syncing you up with the highest timeline available in that moment. And it's simply us getting out of the way energetically for a moment just to connect to the all is well, the stillness inside ourselves, the I am that I am. And that aspect of us actually, it's like we remember our innate connection, source alignment, and it resets us into that. The timing resets, the flow resets. It's really a magical key to the kingdom, as they say. And so next step would be to explore the stillness and to look at different layers. And so for some of us, we may have a defense mechanism running that kind of distracts us from the stillness. For various reasons. There can be various reasons why we would have that. And in many cases, it might not even be ours. It could be ancestral. It could be a bundle that we've taken on if we're a healer or a light worker, or even just a being of light that's here that forgets to stay in our sovereignty and takes responsibility for another and then downloads their bundles, their challenges to try to shift for them, unconsciously unaware that we're doing that. Or a body Deva does it. So recognize that first step to shift anything is our awareness that it's happening. Consciousness looks on it. Consciousness becomes aware of itself. You awaken to it. You're aware of it. That there's this distraction running, or there's this tendency to want to stay busy or distracted, or distract myself from the present moment. So this is about giving you the safe space to simply move into that authenticity, because there's no right or wrong, and showing you, reminding you what it feels like, how to, and that it's safe to be aware of what is, from a place of non-judgment, from a place of stillness, clarity, peace, calm. And you can even ask your higher self to show you, are there mechanisms I'm running that are attempting to kind of do the opposite of what I'm intending? Part of me desires the stillness, or I wouldn't be here in this session. And so what am I running, or what is running in my energetic fields that's kind of counteracting that desire? It's like not congruent with that desire. And have I outgrown it? Is it even mine? And again, we're just curious here, not trying to fix, just curious, just choosing to be aware. And as we slow down to move into more of a presence, more of a stillness, we can see more clearly. Mercury retrograde amplifies that. So perfect timing for this. So you can simply contemplate for a moment are there behaviors, mechanisms running for me or for my body, David, that are moving us in a direction opposite to what's desired? Distraction. Maybe being in the past or the future. Maybe it's a control mechanism. And ask yourself, your body, Deva, at that level of your higher selves, to get really clear on the why you're doing it. If it's trying to control what happens in the future or figure it out, is that because I want to be safe? Is it because I want to be supported? If it's about distracting myself, is it so that I don't have to feel shame? Which sounds kind of weird, but a lot of times the body, Deva especially, and we as a soul can do this too, we're using a certain mechanism to avoid feeling something. And so why don't I want to feel the shame or the guilt or the fear or the disempowerment? So maybe we're actually after more courage, or maybe we're after more remembering of who we really are in truth, which is kind of a magic wand for everything, more connection, because when we remember who we are in truth, we're not really afraid. We don't take it personally. We know it's a story, a script that was running that we identified with at some point, but it's not really who we are. We did it to learn, to grow, to shift, to evolve. But in truth, it doesn't mean anything about us. So we're going to bring that in, layer that in as an energetic download for those who choose it. How to be aware of what's running, how to be present with what is, how to look at through this lens of a higher perspective, whatever's going on, without judging it, without judging ourselves, without making any of it right, wrong, good, or bad. Allowing it to just be. We're going to model that now. And whatever it is that's coming up for you, are you willing to release all the meaning you've given it in the past so that your higher self can reinterpret it to a higher octave for you? Reinterpret your perceptions, your relationship with it. As they say, we can't solve a problem on the level it was created. So this tool is a bit of a way to reach for a higher dimensional perspective on this same issue that's maybe been going on for a while, to distract ourselves, to prolong transformation. Maybe it's just resistance to change. You don't have to know what it is intellectually. But will you allow your higher self to begin to reinterpret how you're perceiving it to a place that's much more empowering, a perspective that's much more honoring, accurate, true, where you can see it through the lens of the divine, where you can see it from the lens of your future self in a fully actualized state. And we're going to invite your future selves to do that, to share with you that perspective. And again, this isn't intellectual. It can drop in intellectually later. For some of you, maybe in the next few moments, but usually it's time release. What we do in these sessions is more of the energetic background wiring, if you will, that then aligns you to, in a higher dimension, the optimal, and it will reflect here eventually. It's like it becomes conscious over time. maybe sometimes instantaneously, maybe after 1-2 sleep cycles, maybe after a few weeks or a few months or years. Part of the reason for that is, again, you're each bringing this in your own unique way. And your future selves will thank you for it, they're saying. Yes. Deep breath in. Good. Inviting a balancing and stabilizing of your energetic fields, updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. So the next piece that's coming in now, because we're in Mercury retrograde, the Council of Light, the guides, are encouraging for those who wish to do this to intend for this really safe, supportive dimension that you've energetically located for yourselves to be a safe, supportive container for you to work on over the next 2.5 weeks or so, retiring the mechanisms you've outgrown. So any mechanisms that may be functioning from fear or resistance or old paradigms just aren't yours. Inviting you, your body, your teams, to the degree that you choose, to work in a safe, supportive dimension with your higher selves, your guides, your advisors, the masters and angels that work with you, your spiritual families, their galactic crew, if you choose, for you as a soul, to identify, get really clear on what you're ready to retire, the old mechanisms, maybe the old grids that you're ready to release, like a snake shedding its skin. And to allow that to be a very gentle, graceful, loving process where you activate all vibrations of the spiritual lessons in the appropriate order, timing, and dimensions, and you go through a gentle release of what you've outgrown based on where you are currently. It's like, okay, let's get current with who we are, including all dimensions of our energetic fields. Let's allow them to upgrade and get current with us. So we're employing this other dimension, your guides, your advisors, your higher selves, to do that for you in a higher dimension where it's really clean, really clear, really easy to see, and to do this work. It's very gentle, very graceful, minimal effort. So will you let this aspect of you do this in another dimension on your behalf throughout the next 2.5 weeks or so? Body Deva can do this for itself, teams for themselves if they choose. So that this gentle, graceful shedding of what you've outgrown, what doesn't belong to you, what you're really not, what's not conducive, not honoring for you to take with you into the next phase of your evolution, of your becoming. Now allowing that to very gently release in a time release way, but it's really outside of time. We're going to play with time a little bit. Some energetic aspect of you knows how to do that. Letting your multidimensional self be what it is, using all your resources in those other dimensions that you have access to within your pillar of light, to employ these energetic aspects of you, your team, your guides, to support you in letting go. Teams can do this for themselves too, with their guides. And gently releasing, shedding the skin, so that you move into an even greater alignment, resonance with who you've become. And presence, this aspect we did at the first part of the session, is an aspect of that. Getting in the now, getting current. So just inviting that to continue in this other dimension and to ripple and reflect to you here in this dimension in a very gentle, graceful way. Body, team, same. So the next layer, the next piece stepping forward now is inviting us to go deeper. And Moira is stepping forward now. And for those of you who either don't know who that is or know who that is and know I'm pronouncing it a little differently, he is an ascended master, part of the Great White Brotherhood. And for this kind of purposes of these sessions, and member of the Council of Light, he's an aspect of this group that's stepping to the forefront to help facilitate this session and our upcoming Masterclass series on Awaken to Presence. He has mastery of this. He has mastery of a lot of things, including empowerment, truth, integrity, alignment to oneness, presence, stillness, the I am that I am alignment. He's embodied it. And what he's inviting now is he's offering up for each of you here an energetic download. It's like teachings, but it's in an energetic download regarding trying to give it words here for the linear mind. Give me a moment. Okay. So an aspect of it is what it feels like, how to, and that it's safe to have the courage to lean in, to go deeper, to be you in truth. So we're going to show you what we mean by that first. He's going to show you what he means by that. And again, reminding you that you are in your free will conscious choice. Nothing is being done to you or for you. This is simply you being able to energetically review this before you say yes to it. So just invite the some energetic aspect of you that knows your higher self to review this. What this energetic download represents. It's actually complex, it's layered. The first layer I'm being shown has to do with courage, having the courage to go deep, to be who you are in truth, to gently, gracefully release false identifications of you, and why that's helpful, why that's your key to freedom, your key to you, what you are, the truth of you, the core of you, the I am. And so you're not being invited to trust anything outside of you here. What you're being invited to lean into is to trust your higher self and the discernment within, so that you can bring this in a very empowered way. And that's the most I can really give words to, but it's a layered download to support you in a deeper understanding of the steps to leaning into your I am presence, remembering your I am presence, being your I am that I am, authentically, without distortion, without mechanisms distracting you from it. So we're going to invite that transmission now. And again, you're in your free will conscious choice to receive it or not. There's also one for the body deva that's a little bit different. We're bringing that in now. It's custom for them and the teams. So if you can imagine that you're in this beautiful, safe, supportive dimension with these master beings and your higher self as a master being yourself, and this orb of light is being laid on the table for you to pick up if you choose. Does it resonate for you to pick it up or not? This orb of light contains layers of information, light codes, rememberings, activations. They happen in a time release way for you in a higher dimension where it's much easier to receive, to integrate. And then it ripples to you here if you choose. And maybe it's a crystal that's encoded that you're being presented with records, with information, with divine intelligence, sacred shapes, sacred symbols, light codes. For the body deva, maybe it's a waterfall that it goes in that has various codes, shapes, aromas, rememberings for itself. And it's layered. So bring this in slowly, gently, gracefully, in your own way, in your own timing. Letting that integrate. And are you willing to have the courage to go deeper into a deeper remembering of you, a deeper, more profound awareness of what you are? And whatever doesn't allow that, will you release and uncreate it? Now I'm being shown a crystal Merkaba. And it's about this big, so about the size of maybe a little bigger than a softball. And Morya is now presenting this and it's going to have a unique message for each of you. So we're just inviting you, if it resonates, to bring this in your own unique way. And for some of you, you may wish to lean into this crystal Merkaba, etheric crystal Merkaba, rotating in and around and through your energetic fields, helping to activate, upgrade, clean, clear, align to the degree that's appropriate for your intentions of going, it's like moving into a deeper relationship with who you are. Awakening to presence, but awakening to you. They're the same thing. You are the awareness of the now. That's you. You may be able to feel and sense this deep stillness there. We're going to show you how to connect to it and amplify it for you in the I am that I am, the core of your being, the truth of you, referencing it appropriately within, allowing some energetic aspect of you to energetically locate it in an appropriate dimension of you that's really clean, coherent, and clear, amplifying it, reflecting it to you here. Inviting your body, David, to do the same in its own unique way. Teams, guides, same. Dropping in even deeper. Anything that's not allowing that, we release and uncreate it, return to sender with love and consciousness. Archangel Metatron is stepping forward now as well. And he is offering some sacred geometry to support this energetic process, to help each of you in your own unique way if you choose to accept his offer to support you. And the master alchemists of the body devas, the etheric body devas, enlightened body devas, are also stepping forward to support the body devas to the degree that they choose. Deep breath in. And you're being invited into your next level of becoming. Next level of remembering. You may also be witnessing various sounds, lights, sacred shapes, colors that are being used to help with this process of going deeper and remembering. And using this energetic reset of stillness to help you welcome your next level in a gentle, graceful way. You might wish to drop deeper into the awareness of the breath. And into more of an allowing the breath to move in and out, not forcing it. Let the current carry you. The current is you. And you might wish to allow some aspect of you to lean into the synchronicity of the current of you being current in the now. Giving you an opportunity to let go of anything that isn't serving you, to put on a shelf anything that's being an element of distracting, something we're trying to fix or change. Are you willing to shelf that for now? And just be present with you. Current with your current. Letting that be the only intention you have, the only desire you have in this moment. To be present with what you are in a deeper way. Good. Deep breath in. Providing a balancing and stabilizing of all your energetic fields. Updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. Encouraging you to continue to connect to this. You can multitask, right? So encouraging you to allow some energetic aspect of you to continue to abide in this stillness as you go about your day, as you go about your life, positively, empathically impacting you here in this dimension, making it easier for you to connect to this stillness intermittently throughout your day. And we would encourage that. Imagining some energetic aspect of you in this other dimension. Maybe it's sitting on a pond or next to a lake or on a mountain, and just connecting to that stillness. That's all that already is. We're going to invite appropriate lines of communication, grids of communication to be established between you and this aspect of you that is awakening to a deeper relationship with this aspect of stillness in this other dimension. It's abiding in it, swimming in it, embodying it in a deeper way. Inviting the body, the event teams to do the same. Updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. As we enter this new phase of becoming, and as awake and aware beings that are ready for next level, it's like, what else can we remember? What else can we learn to move into greater empowerment, greater freedom, more of who we are? We're being invited to lean more into our multidimensional self and to employ the other dimensions that we have access to. And eventually this will be second nature. But in all of our sessions now, we're incorporating this as an aspect to gently begin weaving this in as a new way of being, a default way of being, how we function as multidimensional beings. And because we're awake and aware enough, we can begin to function as what we are, using the resources we have access to in multiple dimensions, not just holding all of our weight in the physical dimension, trying to make everything happen just in the physical dimension, which doesn't really work, and it takes a lot of effort. And the physical dimension is the reflection, it's the surface of the mirror. So we're just going to support each of you now in remembering how to redistribute your weight energetically appropriately as the multidimensional being that you are, inviting the body Deva to do the same, because the body Deva, even though it has a physical aspect to itself that reflects in the physical dimension, it is an etheric being, and it has access to multiple dimensions of Earth in the earthly realms, where it can create, where it can grow, shift, and evolve itself. And it doesn't have to effort at all in just the physical dimension. So we're just bringing that in to help remind the body Deva of what it has access to, so it can begin to utilize all of its resources as well. And just a little backstory on my relationship with Morya, at least my conscious relationship from this perspective. He came to me I was in the middle of offering the Being in Liberation series a few months ago, and he came to me one evening and basically asked to collaborate on a series. And he told me right away he wanted it to be called Awaken to Presence. And so I sat with him for a while and I pondered. I said, well, let me think about it. Let me decide, and encouraged us to connect to in a higher dimension, work out the details in dream time, if it was appropriate, with my guides, advisors, Council of Light, everyone, because I've never had this specific situation happen before, even though it felt coherent and it felt honoring, and his energy felt very much in integrity, because that's part of his mastery. I still wanted to just double, triple check before I just dove in. So the other thing I asked for, kind of the details to be worked out around, is the timing of it. It's like, okay, when do we offer it? What's appropriate? When's the most helpful? Because that's always something I specifically ask for in all my offerings. It's something I say right before I go live in any session, is I'm simply here to be truly helpful, and inviting my higher self to help me connect to that which is most helpful in the appropriate dimensions to bring that through. And so I slept on it. The next morning I woke up And I just knew, yeah, it feels potent. It feels powerful. It feels like something that wants to happen pretty soon. So the timing dropped in specifically a few weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago to be exact, I guess. It's like it needs to happen these dates and this timing and da, da, da. So I put it all in place, announced it, and it starts this Sunday. It's a 5-week masterclass. There's 75-minute transmissions that El Moira will be orchestrating in the forefront. The Council of Light will be there. I will be there. The masters and angels that are always part of my sessions will be there. Your higher selves, whoever participates, and all their guides, advisors, masters, angels. I always invoke all of those beings of love and light, including Gaia at the level of her higher self, and various crystals and archangels. And it's a pretty long process I go through to invoke everyone for a session, but it's worth it. It's always worth it. Ganesh is there, Buddha's there, Jesus is there. But El Moira will be guiding it from his place of mastery. And he's actually very excited to be collaborating with souls who are ready for this deeper remembering of the I am presence. And I'm asking to be reminded of the words he actually gave me. He said, and what he's saying now, I'll just say what he's saying now is, it's rare to have the opportunity to work with souls who have evolved to the place where they're ready for this step. And those who are will be called to participate. And then he's showing me, far beyond words, this idea of using various technologies throughout the series to bring in the information far beyond the mind. So he's using the Merkaba as an example of what ways that information is going to be transmitted to energetic aspects of you far beyond the intellect, because he's saying a lot of what is involved in this step isn't linear, and it's not something that can be easily languaged. So we have to have cultivated the courage and the trust in our higher selves to let our higher selves be our gatekeepers, be our guide, be the one doing this on our behalf. It's like we're literally leaning into that. And he's saying that it took you lifetimes to prepare for this. And there's an aspect of it being potent. It's like when we have boots on the ground, we're incarnated physically. There's an aspect to that being a piece to the puzzle of us being able to do this in a efficient, I mean, it's not that it's a race, but it's like efficient, quickest, fastest, most harmonious way. It's like we're able to bring it in, we're able to, because we're choosing in real time, boots on the ground, we're employing other aspects of us to do the work with our guides and advisors. And there's a potency to that. There's an acceleration to that, not to mention the timing with this current spiral, the current planetary alignments, all that's happening right now. They're just saying the timing is impeccable. So inviting you each to connect to that in your own unique way, far beyond concepts, linear, whatever might be coming up. Just reach for, okay, what is this about? What does it symbolize for me? Who am I on the other side of it? What we're able to do during this time, they're showing it being various, again, planetary alignments, energetic support that's happening right now for the upward spiral. And it's really an inward spiral. In this case, we're using it to go deeper. This kind of opportunity comes around every 26,000 years. And for many of you, this is your last or maybe almost last incarnation on earth. Like you won't be back. There's certain aspects of doing it here at this time that not only benefit you, but then the ripple effect that it has for doing this level of work, this type of work, will have for humanity itself, for all that is, for galactic. They're showing me galactic ripples into other worlds. So inviting you to feel into that. I just got dizzy. It's expansive for sure. And they're encouraging you to allow your knowing to guide you, even if it doesn't make sense to the intellect. And they're also reminding you, the Council of Light, the guides, the angels, where there's a will, there's a way. It's time to remember how powerful you are. One of the reasons we deeply discounted this leading up to this free transmission, we gave a 50% off kind of window up through last Sunday, is because we really want to make it easier to kind of clear that hurdle of the intellect saying, I can't. Because which again, they're showing how that represents a mechanism of limitation of the past, right? That's separation based. That's I'm not one with source. I don't have. And that's what we're being invited to retire. So sometimes the only way to clear that hurdle is to take the leap. And so we're making it easier to take that leap, because we're going to extend some like second chance savings, if you will, for those who kind of missed that first window. And we're going to offer a $222 savings if you register by Friday, the 16th. And so feel into, first of all, is it for me? Get your answer. Allow your higher self to show you, to guide you. Maybe sleep on it, like I did with Morya. I slept on it first. And I have no idea, by the way, intellectually, consciously, why I pronounce his name the way I do. It's come out that way since I first tried to say it. And if I try to say it another way, I get tongue-tied. So I just honor that's how I say his name. He's okay with it. And so there's some kind of inside joke there, I'm sure, that when I get back over to the other side, it'll be clear and I'll have a good laugh. But for now, I just go with it. But even when I try to spell his name, I'll try to transpose the Y and the R. I think I spelled it all correctly when I uploaded it to the website. But if you find a transposition there, it's just whatever's going on with that. It's so interesting. It feels like, again, a playful kind of wink in some way. So to me, that's how I connect to it. It's a playful wink. Yeah. Kind of like how a child mispronounces names. But they're saying, like, we've known each other in other worlds. So there could be something to do with that as well. Also, you may wish to connect to, if you go to embracingtheinfinite.com, the way that he showed himself to me, like a lot, when I Googled him a day or two after he appeared, I kept seeing these pictures of him everywhere. And I'm like, that isn't how he showed himself to me. He didn't look like that. There was a lot of blue, there was some yellow and some gold and white. And he was dressed in white with gold accents and just a lot of light. Again, the integrity, the empowerment, but it's gentle. It was balanced, really lovely. So I ended up finding one picture of him that did resonate as to how he showed himself to me, and that's posted on embracingtheinfinite.com. And if you're signed up for our newsletter, I also sent it out with the announcement for the series. And so feel into it for you. They're saying it has to do with different dimensions, different levels of consciousness that we can connect to all beings at. So we can connect to, depending on the lens we're looking through, the level of consciousness we've attained, we can connect to beings at various levels of consciousness. And so I think for me, they're saying I connect to the great white brotherhood aspect of him. So you can feel into that, bring that in your own unique way, and maybe you connect to him in your own unique way, have a conversation, invite that to occur in another dimension. And if you want to take advantage of the savings code, when you go to embracinginfinite.com to learn more about the series that starts this Sunday, you can use the coupon code PRESENCE, and that will give you the $222 off of the tuition for the 5-week masterclass. And I'm excited about this because it's my first offering of its kind where I've had a specific being, in this case, an ascended master, that wants to guide, lead in collaboration with me, my higher self. Council of Light, again, is collaborating as well. And so I'm excited to see. They're saying it'll be similar to today, but for those who are familiar with my offerings, my sessions, they're showing me this one's going to be a little more methodical, slow, steady. And again, they're showing me technologies they're going to use. He's showing me technologies he's going to use as well to bring in energetic information. Good. And deep breath in. Just seeing if there's anything else they want to share. So they're simply saying this is a time of great change. As we know, planet Earth is getting a remodel, moving into the 5th dimensional ways of being. Humanity might take a little while to get there, to catch up, to be ready. We don't have to wait. We don't have to do what humanity is doing. We're way showers. We have infinite choice. We are awake and aware enough to know we have access to multiple dimensions. And so you're encouraged, whether or not you choose to journey with us through this corridor, to find tools and methods that work for you to stay on your kind of above, transcended perspective. It's like stay connected to perceiving from a higher dimension everything that's happening, and moving into greater sovereignty, only attached and responsible for you, that will allow you to soar above the chaos. Change doesn't have to be chaotic. Change can be glorious and sacred and beautiful and elegant. And when we employ the other dimensions to support us in our transformation, in our change, it can be. And we can help awaken the body devas to this as well. So this came up the other day, and they're saying we're walking the oneness way. There's the separation way of moving through a change, and then there's the oneness way. And so we would just encourage you to reach for the oneness way in a way that honors you, that's empowering, that's supportive, that honors the aspect of the divine that you be, the I am that you are. And so in whatever you choose for you, we honor your free will conscious choice. We see, acknowledge, and honor the light that you are, the courage that it takes for you to evolve in a conscious way, to go deeper, and the empowerment that you've cultivated for yourselves in moving into your free will conscious choice to wield your will, your power on you, for you, to evolve you in a gentle, graceful way, harnessing the potency of this time in a way that's unique to you. And again, potency doesn't have to mean force or intense. When we're leaning into the current and we know the current is who we are, it just carries us. It can be very gentle, very honoring, very nurturing. It can be a bit of a relief to know we're the current. It's not outside of us. We're not being forced to change or evolve. So we're going to help you reach for that in your own unique way and to begin to embody that, leaning more into the current of you, allowing it to carry you. And recognize that much of humanity right now is resisting the current. They're not ready to remember who they are. They're not ready to wake up. And that's okay. Everyone's where they are on the mountain, and they'll get there eventually, and it's perfect. But you may be empathically feeling humanity's resistance, humanity's fear, because you're maybe wanting them to evolve, wanting them to be different, wanting them to be more advanced in some way, or you're simply just empathically feeling them because you have information for them. So we're going to end today with an energetic process to help you release that empathic resistance to change. Deep breath in. We invite you at the level of your higher self, body, devas, higher self, and teams to work with the energetic fields and the guides to energetically reference any empathic resistance, gripping, trying to stop getting awakened. It's like clenching, trying to shut down, keep everything the same. Survival consciousness mechanisms that you're empathically feeling that aren't yours. Maybe it's ancestral, maybe it's humanity, maybe it's a family member or family, maybe it's a group, maybe it's a coworker, a spouse, whoever is clenching, gripping, not wanting to wake up, not wanting to grow, shift, and evolve. Letting them be in their choice, in their free will, in their resistance, not trying to fix or change it. Returning the level of your higher self, body, devas, higher self, and teams, returning all that empathic resistance to change back to them, along with all appropriate energetic information and the responsibility for it, letting them hold that at the level of their higher selves to the degree that they choose, returning all those empathic bundles back to them, especially ancestral, body deva, especially to other body devas, returning all the empathic resistance to change, resistance to awakening, and then energetically referencing at the level of your higher selves, body devas, higher selves, and teams, anywhere you wanted for them to be different or tried to fix them. You have your attachment energy on them, your gifts, your wisdom, your mastery, maybe your energetic fabric of allowing, of trust, of flow. Retrieve all of that off of them because it doesn't work for them. It only works for you. Clean it, recalibrate it for your current level of consciousness, reweave it, re-embed it on you for you, body, and teams, each for yourselves in your own unique way. Get all that back on you. Then you're not as empathically impacted by what others are being or doing or vibrating at. You're buffered by your own energetic fabric in your own vibrations of flow and safety and support and courage and trust and knowing all is well. Get all the grace and ease back. Retrieving, retrieving, retrieving from all incarnations. All the attachment off of others. Get it back, clean it, recalibrate it, reweave it back on you. And this is an aspect to staying in our own lane, getting in our current, only attached and responsible for ourselves, because we can only choose for ourselves. We were never meant to choose for another. That breaks the pact of the divine design. It takes us out of oneness into separation. So just inviting you to get deeper into your current, into your pillar of light, only attached and responsible for you, updating your grids appropriately so it's easier for you to only be attached and responsible for you. Choosing in favor of the aspect of life that is you and what would honor the aspect of life that is you, because you're the only one that can choose for it. No one else can. And we cannot choose for another, and we wouldn't try because that takes us way out of integrity. Deep breath in, inviting a balancing and stabilizing of all your energetic fields, updating all grids, all reference points, all ways in which you perceive and are perceived. Encouraging you to cocoon your energetic fields in your own unique way, in a way that supports you and allows a safe and sacred space for you to integrate fully all that was shared, continuing to process, continuing to gently release in some other dimension, shedding the skin, as they say, the snake skin, shedding the skin, what you've outgrown over the next 2.5 weeks, continuing to move deeper into the remembering of who you are in truth, to the degree that you choose. It is our honor to support you in this way, and we look forward to seeing those of you who enroll in the masterclass starting this Sunday. And for each of you, encouraging you to maintain and sustain your remembering of your connection to Source and the I am that you be, in ways that honor, inspire, and empower you. Much love.